Alright, today we're talking about WARDOGS. WARDOGS is a recently announced FPS developed by Bulkhead, published by Team 17. It is a 100-player first-person shooter that is based on the King of the Hill mod in Arma 3 and Arma Reforger. And first and foremost, I'm looking forward to it. I've been wanting a standalone King of the Hill game for quite some time, specifically based on the Arma mod. I've been playing that mod for probably damn near a decade at this point. What they've shown of the game so far looks pretty cool. They've got some level of destruction in the environment. It looks like it might be kind of like BFBC2 or BF3 type level. Not quite like the finals, but still, I mean, I was playing I guess BF4, like not even a year ago. Still, I still play that somewhat often. What I really want to talk about though more than anything is the stuff that we don't really have answers for yet. And I'm not necessarily trying to speculate. I mean, it is fun and there might be some of that in here, but it's more of a wish list, things that I hope for when it comes to the game. And also some maybe some reasoning behind why they should or shouldn't do certain things as well, so that other people might think logically about these things in a better way. I'm in the community Discord, the official Discord for WarDogs, where the community is, and people post in there all the time about, hey, is the game gonna have this? Is it gonna have that? And like we don't know on quite a few things. I would reasonably expect a few things, which, like I said, like you might see that as speculation, but I see it more like a wish list, high hopes sort of thing. They say in their videos, the dev team, they say that there's no matchmaking, it's all server browser based. And so that would lead me to believe that community hosted servers are going to be very commonplace, much like Arma. You know, like I'm sure there's going to be official servers, but I'm sure the majority of them will probably be hosted by the community with, different rule sets or preferences, perhaps dictated by the admins. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a very good thing. Typically, games that, whether it has good anti cheat or not, games that have active moderation on their servers are typically the ones that people want to play. They're like in really high demand because the mods are just gonna fucking ban people that are cheating. If they make it too obvious, at least. And I think that's just the way to go with it, because I mean, if you're running officials, like nobody ever hires full-time admins for their servers. I mean, you'll probably find maybe some cases out there, but generally that's not what's going on. So if you want to have like good servers that people want to play on, then it's gonna have to be community servers. Another thing that people are chirping about in the Discord is monetization. The devs have stated that they're not going to have microtransactions or anything like that, or like buying cosmetics or anything like that with real money in the game, and people love that. I like that, and that brings people to ask about, well, how are you going to monetize the game then? Is there going to be a battle pass? Is there going to be loot boxes? And we don't have answers to those questions, but there's other ways to monetize a game besides loot boxes and battle passes and premium currencies and all that stuff. And call me old, call me Unk or whatever. I'm 28. I remember growing up playing Halo 2 and 1 for that matter, but specifically Halo 2. They sold a hard copy, physical copy of the multiplayer map pack. And obviously we've moved on from physical sales these days, but even Halo 3, what did we get? 3 map packs in Halo 3? All downloadable content. I think we had 3 map packs. So there's other ways to provide content for money, to if they need more money, without completely altering the balance of the game. without buying better guns or XP boosts or some other stuff like that. There's ways to do it. I mean, it's just I know like the concerns with that is, oh well, then you might split the community and between people that own it and who don't own it. And that takes me back to the community servers where it's like, well, it's going to be up to whoever's hosting your server, you know, uh, it's going to be up to server owners, what they want to do. And, if they're running a actual like community and they have like Discord with people interacting and whatnot, then like they can poll and there's ways to discuss with the people that play on your server that are like involved enough to have contact with them to figure out whether or not that's something you should do, or maybe having like if typically gaming communities. I don't know. I don't know, things like Moydog, he has the potato fields. He has multiple potato field servers, so it's like, okay, well, maybe we have one server hosting the new map and another one hosting the vanilla content. There's ways around it, and around it. Not that you're really getting around anything, but there's ways to handle it that is like totally acceptable, totally fine. There's nothing wrong with doing additional content like a new map. Not that they would necessarily like need to do that without like totally breaking everything. On top of that, with that being said, again on this whole idea of community servers, if your servers are community run, if you're especially if they're like you're the most popular servers on the game, because I feel like it's not often where officials are the most popular in a game where you can host community servers because of the cheater reason that I mentioned earlier. So all that being said, if community run servers are the way the game is going, then they don't necessarily need to monetize the game with some like 5-year plan of content. It doesn't need to be a live service game. Just make a good game and sell it and make your money, then make a new game. Crazy concept, I know, but it's nothing new. And based on what I've seen from the videos the devs have put out, it seems like they might just be okay with that. It's just not to put words in their mouth or anything. It's just the feeling that I get where these are the type of devs where they're not gonna over monetize the game because that would very quickly kill the game. And also, if you look at the Arma mod for King of the Hill, the servers are obviously community run. They monetize themselves in various ways as well that I don't think break the balance of the game. You can buy a VIP slot, you get whitelisted. I've never done that. I've never really cared too much if people want to buy slots on a server like a VIP slot. And the mod does some goofy things, I think, with the VIP stuff. I think I've seen some pretty weird outfits on people. I don't know if that's a VIP thing or if you just have to be really high level. I'm not max level on King of the Hill. I don't know, this whole idea though that the devs need to be thinking about like long-term life support for monetizing the game. What if they don't want to? What if they just want to make a good game and sell it, let the community run their own servers and move on? There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's the best way to go. And if the game does well enough and there's enough demand for more content, we've been doing map packs for decades. Arma's sold maps as content. And then there's countless community made maps. I don't know if modding is going to be a thing in this game. Who knows? I'm not really going to speculate on that. I will say, I mean, the base map is going to be big enough to have like countless hours of content across hundreds of matches. I don't care if they add another map or not. I will be completely happy playing WARDOGS on one map with no extra content for years. Like I said, I've been playing the King of the Hill mod for damn near a decade on like how many different towns on Altus and Tanoa. And I mean, I guess on Reforgers on Malden? No, it's not Malden. Can't think of the name of the map. But I just don't think it's going to be a problem. I think it'll be fine. I just don't think it's a big deal. Another thing that I've seen people talk about a little bit on the Discord is the values for like getting rewards for kills and stuff. It's like, dude, like it's all placeholder, man. Like there's been no playtest. I'm sure they've done no balance passes at all on the progression systems in the game. What's the point? What's the point in trying to balance something that people haven't even played with yet? You've got no feedback on it, no real feedback. So I wouldn't worry about that. Pretty much, I guess the whole point of this video is just saying, hey man, don't worry about it. I think it's fine. If you don't think it's going to be fine, let me know why. But I think everything's going to be fine. If the game bombs, the game bombs. I think the top three things that will kill this game is bad performance, like poor, just god awful optimization, which they've addressed. But we'll see how that goes. Awful netcode, people lagging around everywhere. I mean, like, I've been playing Arma forever. I'm kind of used to that, but if it's worse than Arma, that's a big problem. And then number 3 is cheaters, which I think would be solved by community servers. Really, top 2 things are completely technical, not even related to gameplay. Game could be great, but if it runs like shit, nobody can play it or really have fun playing it because it runs like shit, then it's gonna die. You can have a bad game that runs well and people play the fuck out of it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the game's good or not. It needs to perform. That's really my only like concerns for the game, is that it's not going to run well. Because I've been wanting to standalone King of the Hill for 10 fucking years, just so I don't have to like play Arma just to play King of the Hill. Because the King of the Hill game mode in Arma is like perfect. It's fucking crack cocaine to me. Once I started playing King of the Hill, it's hard to stop. Not to say it's, I mean, I think I just said it's perfect, but obviously, I mean, there's probably some issues. Conceptually, it's perfect. Conceptually, as a game mode, the way Arma has it set up is perfect. Sumatra did a great job on that. There are some things I think could be added or changed, and I think the base building stuff is pretty cool from the looks of it. I haven't really talked about it too much, but it looks cool. I've also been seeing some people talk about esports. Not necessarily esports, but tournaments for this game. That's a dangerous road to go down before the game is even out. I talked about this years ago on my review for the game Line War. You can't force a game to be an esport. I mean, you can set up tournaments for just about any game, but whether or not people are gonna like really take it seriously and get competitive with it, that's out of your hands. That's totally in the hands of the community. The devs aren't trying to make it an esport. I don't think anybody should try to encourage them to do that. I don't think it's a good idea for like the 700 IQ FPS players to like come in here and like try to like over competitive eyes the game, because they'll very quickly take the fun out of it. I mean, every game's gonna have a meta, but yeah, I think it's really your attitude about it that makes or breaks the spirit of it. Like, I don't think I've ever once booted up King of the Hill on Arma and thought, man, there should be a tournament for this. Even all the times I've thought to myself or said aloud to my buddies, man, I wish somebody would just make this its own game so I didn't have to deal with the Arma jank to play it. Like, in the process of having those thoughts, I never once thought, man, this game would be great in MLG. And Moydog makes good videos. His Eye in the Sky video is for Squad. Like those are, entertaining to watch, But he can't be everywhere at once. There's too much going on. Those maps are so big. There's so many people. There's so much going on. One guy can't possibly see every awesome thing that is going on in a match of Squad. Whereas if you take a match of Counter-Strike, there's 10 people on a very small map. You can catch everything in a match of Counter-Strike. And it's fucking awesome. The fewer people you have on a team in a competitive game, the more important their actions become. And yeah, you can have 100 people on a team and like a few guys, like, every little thing leads to another thing, little butterfly effect type deal, but it's not felt immediately with like the intensity and like the emotion that you have like in that moment for everybody watching. Like Homeboy's freaking ace with the op on Mirage in like 2014 or whatever at that CS tournament, everybody still remembers that. It's been immortalized in the game itself. Like, in the moment when that happened, everybody fucking freaked out because, like, holy shit, that was a big moment in that game. Whereas, you frag 5 guys in a game of squad, cool, cool, it's cool. But he didn't win the round. Didn't single-handedly win the round. Anyways, those are kind of my thoughts so far on WARDOGS and kind of my response to some of the things that the community is talking about in the Discord. Is basically just is pretty much boils down to, as long as the game runs well and we've got community servers, the monetization for this game long term doesn't fucking matter, because they can make a new game and we'll have this game. Not every studio needs to be Riot or Blizzard or Ubisoft or something where it's like, okay, we have like one IP and we're just gonna fucking run it for 15 years, Not everything needs to be like that. In fact, most companies are not like that. I love to see people hyping up the game and whatnot, because I'm glad people are excited, because I'm excited. That's what I'm talking about. But I think we should balance our emotions around it and realize, like, hey, like, if the devs put out the game and never want to touch it again, fine. You know, if they release the game, put out a couple patches to fix bugs and maybe tighten some things up, maybe a balance pass or something, cool. And then they go make another game, and as long as we've got community servers running the shit, we'll be fine. We will be fine. It's like, it's not gonna be like Ubisoft with some Switch where, in 5 years, like, we're gonna fucking turn off the game and you can never play it again. As long as we have community servers, we're fine. Anyways, hit that subscribe button to stay bricked. Stay bricked.